So this video isn't actually about anything to do with any services that we provide or any information, but it's a bit of experience from me, almost personally, about being an Autonomo in Spain. Okay, the reason I'm doing this video is because this question came up today. I was speaking to somebody about becoming a recently registered as an Autonomo, and yesterday I was speaking to somebody who is going to register as Autonomo. They're both residents here. Obviously, the current climate dictates there's a lot of people lost their jobs and they're looking for other sources of income, and Autonomo and going self-employed is something that a lot of people are considering doing now, as we're becoming aware that a lot of the jobs that people have been made redundant from or currently on the Spanish furlough system called ERTE are not actually going to be there afterwards. So it's great. So we've got this entrepreneur revolution in Spain at the moment, where we're going to see a lot more independent businesses and small businesses popping up all over the place. So I wanted to share a bit of experience about my top 10 tips. This is my top 10 tips for being an Autonomo in Spain. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, I am not an accountant. I have an accountant, Evan, that he looks after mine. He's a very good one. I'm not, but this is derived from my experience on being an Autonomo, being self-employed in Spain, and I really wanted to share this with everybody on the channel because I think it might help people who are thinking about making that jump from either being employed in Spain or starting their own business. Okay, so number one is find a good accountant. Okay, as we know, paperwork is an absolute nightmare. We deal with immigration and the vehicle registrations and various other services, but in terms, don't try and do any sort of tax returns or anything yourself. It's an absolute nightmare. Even if you've been good enough to get your own digital certificate and you can more or less use that in various organizations, I strongly advise, if you're going to be an Autonomo, the best money you will ever spend is on a good accountant to manage your paperwork. Okay, it is the best money you'll spend. It was the first bit of advice that I got from somebody here in Spain when I ever mentioned about starting a business nearly 2 decades ago. They said to me, the first thing you need is someone good to manage your paperwork. So that's point number one. Make sure that you find an accountant which is good, speaks your language, and you feel comfortable with. So point number two, moving on, is make sure you're correctly registered. When I say correctly registered, some people, what I mean by that is that some people are multi-service. So in Spain, we have this thing where if you're doing different activities, you sometimes have to be registered or given the alta in Hacienda under different codes. They're called epigrafes. So for example, we've got a couple of codes here at Upsticks. I'm registered to work in the industry I work in. So, you know, doing paperwork for people and stuff. But we also refer people to third companies for things like insurance. Okay, those insurance providers then pay us a small commission. So to receive those commissions, we have to have a different registration. Okay, so if you are thinking about doing things like that, that's nothing, you know, years ago people used to hide that kind of stuff under the carpet, you know, so, oh, we refer to him and pay me a turnout. I tell the clients, tell them, oh, go use him because he's going to pay me a commission, you know, and the clients are quite happy. Normally you build up a relationship with a client, and as long as the service they get is great and you know, it doesn't cost them any more because you're being paid a commission, why would they worry? Okay, so definitely make sure that you've got the correct registration. Don't start too early or before you're ready, but don't work illegally. Yes. So if you're thinking about setting up, a lot of people, what they'll do is they're thinking about setting up a business. The first thing they do is go and jump and register as Autonomo, and suddenly that's eating away into that cheaper time you get with a social security payment. So there is again, a decent accountant will explain what qualifies for you, but there is a period, I think it's 2 years now, where the social security payments are very low and then they start creeping up. So before you're ready to start your business, you know, there's nothing stopping you from doing all the research and digitally getting yourself set up, but be careful because you can't write off any invoices, which I'll come to, until you are registered as Autonomo. So, but before you're absolutely ready to start trading, if it's just an idea, don't go off and get registered. Okay, make sure that you've got your business plan well in place, and that when you do execute that plan, because you can't write off expenses until you are registered as Autonomo, you do it in a quick manner. So I've seen so many people who have registered as Autonomo with an idea and not really got going for the first 6 months, and they could have actually just held off for a couple of months and saved those 2 months of cheap or social security payments. So evidently you can't work if you're not registered as Autonomo, but make sure you're ready to do so when you register. Number 4, invoices. Yes, obviously Spain. If you're from the UK and you've worked as self-employed in the UK, there's VAT limits and God knows what. I don't understand it. Never worked as self-employed in the UK. But in Spain, normally you have to charge VAT from €0. There's all sorts of different levels of VAT. Here, there's 20%, 10%, 4%, no percent if you're a teacher. I think if you teach online, don't know. Check it with your accountant. Make sure that you are correctly positioning your invoices and collecting the VAT you're supposed to collect, and it's all correct. Now, I know they have to be chronologically ordered. Check how you do that. If you're going to work in 2 industries within your registration, I think you have to have a different number for each invoice in a different industry, but that's something to check. Make sure your invoices are correct, because that could be a problem later on down the line when you're doing your accounts. Expenses. Yes, check what expenses you can write off. So sometimes it's not as fluid as other countries where you can just say, okay, well, I've spent that much and here's a flimsy bit of paper, there you go, and I want to write that off to your accountant. No, you have to have facturas in your name, so an invoice in your name, which can be accountable as a expense to your business. And a lot of the time you have to go and register at the company first who gives you that factura. So if you go to MediaMarkt, for example, if you want a factura, they'll say, okay, well, you need to take your details. So top tip is to always have your details on a sticker. I've got one of mine here, which has your full name, your NIE number, and your registered fiscal address. Carry that with you, and anywhere you go with an expense, make sure you register and make sure they give you a factura. Also, again, speak to your accountant and find out exactly what you can write off. Sometimes there's issues here with petrol, for example. If there's 2 people in the household who have 2 driving licenses, you've only got 2 vehicles. If one's not solely dedicated to the activity, you can't write it off. Don't know. Speak to your accountant, but it's definitely expenses is something you need to get right from day one, because if you start making mistakes there, it becomes costly. Number 6, split your accounts, income, VAT returns. Yeah, good idea, is because obviously you collect VAT, and we also have quarterly income returns here of 20%. But I think it's a good idea to have 2 accounts. So when you consolidate your accounts, make sure that you separate your income and VAT, which will be charged quarterly, against your income. Instead of having it all in one account, I think it's a good idea to do that, and then you get like the real value in one account of what you've earned and whatever you've got to one side for the tax money. And obviously then once your annual accounts are done, you may get some of that back, which can go into your earnings account. But me personally, I think that's a good idea. Intercomunitario and international transactions. Yes, so if you're going to be doing transactions inside the EU or outside the EU, just check with your accountant what documents you need to be able to either take that income or write it off. Or write off expenses. So for example, I have various online things that we use, tools for our business, and a lot of them are based in Ireland. I think our Google invoices come from Ireland, and they come with an EU VAT number. I'm registered as an intercomunitario trader, as they call it, an intercommunity trader. So I have my own EU VAT registration. And then there's other things for companies outside the EU. You might be doing business or using online platforms in America. Just make sure that before you start anything like that, you can write off that expense, or if you're taking money from those places, how to do so properly. CADE. Right, so CADE is the Centro de Aprendedores Andalucía, or Centro Andalucía de Aprendedores, I think it is, something like that. All right, CADE. I'll put a link on this video, right? Check in with them in your town. CADE is an organisation set up by the Junta Andalucía, which allows you to find grants, allows you to find places to work, allows you to find business centres. Look at this place. If you want to get in here, you have to apply through CADE. Okay, so these are all over Andalusia. There's various things depending on what time of year it is, or whatever. There's different things which are given to learners, aprendedores, and new people. That a lot of them got age restrictions, some of them don't. There's buildings you can use. It depends. I don't know. But speak to CADE, the CADE people. Tell them that you're going to be starting a business. What's out there? What's available? Is there any business centres where I can get in and work and use as an office? Is there loans that we can go for? Do you have any sort of subventions available for people in my industry? It's definitely worth going to them, speaking to them, and finding out what you can get as a new business. Digital copies. Keep digital copies. Everything. I think I need to improve my typing. Keep digital copies of everything. I once made a mistake of not taking a digital copy of documentation from a quarterly return, which then at the end of 3 years later wanted to see, I think, one invoice from somewhere for a car we did, and then it was, although my accountant had it, it was stacked away in a box, on the 5th floor of a storage room somewhere, so it was hard to get hold of. I would keep digital copies of everything for up to 5 years, which is 4 years they can go back plus the current fiscal year. But hey, do you know what? If you've got a Google Business Suite, or if you've got OneDrive, or you've got Dropbox, I think it's limitless now if you're paying. So just keep digital copies of everything, especially your invoices, your factors that you've charged to people, and your expenses. It's really, really, really important to do that if you're giving them out in paper and stuff. When you close your quarter, take a quick scan, stick it in a folder, don't lose it. I once made that mistake and it was a nightmare. And number 10, the last thing, which a little bit of advice really more than anything, if you are starting a business in Spain, is network. You know what? You can sit behind a computer and paid advertising and stuff like that, but in my experience, I've just come from a networking meeting as well. The best thing that you can do, albeit digitally now, you can do Zoom calls and stuff like that, but is to meet people. Meet people. Word of mouth is absolutely massive. I'm sure it is around the world, but certainly here, certainly where we work on the Costa del Sol, word of mouth is key. It's huge to being successful. So, and that's going to bring me on to another video that I'm going to do in a couple of weeks about running a small business in Spain. So I hope those 10 points about being autonomo have been useful for you. As I say, I'm not an accountant. This is literally based on my personal experience, and I wish anybody who's starting a business here in Spain the best of luck.